were they last seen?
Mare Frigoris. Lecco reported back at 1600. They were just about to make the last test.
At 1700, I went out with the buggy to pick them up, as arranged.
And?
Nothing. No men, no footprints, nothing.
Well, what about their equipment?
Vanished with them.
Calder.
Yes, sir.
Get me a call to Commander Jackson at Base 1. Priority.
Yes, sir.
What can have happened?
I don't know,
Well?
I do not like that place, the Mare Frigoris. There is something, a feeling of being watched.
We mounted a search. Full emergency procedure. So far, nothing. A million things can go wrong out there.
He only needs one.
A remorseless, implacable enemy.
Is it possible that they ran into a team from another base? Saw something that was meant to be secret?
Someone's got them locked up. Keep them quiet.
Well, it is possible, surely, Tom.
I'll check, but I doubt it. I mean, we're the only base working in the Mare Frigoris area.
Commander Jackson for you, sir.
Put him through.
David, something I can do for you?
Bill, 2 of my people have gone missing in the Mare Frigoris area. No trace.
Hey, that's bad. How long have they been missing?
Oh,
just over 8 hours.
That gives them oxygen for 2 more hours, right?
2 hours at the most.
we're searching the area ourselves, but in case they've wandered your way.
I'll get my boys onto it.
I would appreciate it, Bill.
My pleasure. Call it in a minute I got news, huh?
Thank you, Bill. What do you reckon, Tom?
Well, it's no good kidding ourselves. If our lads don't find them within the next 2 hours, they've had it.
Bill Jackson's team?
Oh, it'll take the Americans over an hour to get anywhere near there. Right, Guido?
Right, Tom.
Well, then, we're doing all we can, aren't we?
He cannot do this. He cannot.
Freddie has, old chum. Same for all of us.
It is not the same. Your work does not include the Mare Frigoris area.
I didn't know yours did.
There have been developments. It is essential that I make a thorough survey of the area at once.
And therefore, the Mare Frigoris area will remain out of bounds for all personnel until further notice. David Calder, Director.
We shall see.
Steve. Short fuse, old Heinz.
Do you think you'll get anywhere?
Oh, not a hope. If it'd been the late lamented Ransom, maybe. This old teddy bear's got an iron fall. Anyway, Pear, while I'm here, you know that peculiar quartz I dug up on my last survey? Well, I've been doing some tests.
With the greatest respect, Director, I question your decision.
Well, that's your privilege, Heinz. But the answer's still no.
But why? The men are missing. We must presume they are dead. Most regrettable. But still, work must go on.
We haven't even found their bodies yet.
I fail to see
And even if we do, I shall still want to know why and how they died before I authorize further work in Mare Frigoris.
You are causing delay to valuable and urgent research.
Oh, my dear Heinz, if you would only tell me more precisely why it is so urgent.
No. I'm sorry. It would be premature at this time.
Then I'm sorry too, Professor. But I cannot permit further risk to the lives of Moonbase personnel.
I ask for no help. Am I not to be permitted to risk my own life in the cause of science?
No. We don't want to lose you, Heinz. You're far too valuable.
Director?
So, I calculate that the possible fuel potential could be as...
Obdurate fool.
Perhaps the ban will be lifted soon.
Well, can't stand around here chatting. Got work to do. Oh, Heinz, if you're hung up for a bit, perhaps I could have some of your computer time. I mean, if you're not needing it.
Possibly. And perhaps you could give me a little help in return.
Oh, sure. Anything you want, you know that.
I'll walk to your laboratory with you.
Fine. See you, Pet.
Observatory to all personnel. This is an advance warning.
Primary indications of a solar flare buildup have been registered. As you see, sir, here and here.
I'll take your word for it. Surely this is just routine.
If you will permit me to explain.
Of course.
Here you can see the flare building up in the center. It does not look much. But if you look at this X-ray view, it is very much bigger than it looks. At the same time, there is a hurricane building up on Earth.
Then the war on Earth, my dear Juan. There is an established procedure.
It is possible that the conditions will subside, prove to be a false alarm.
Then do not warn them until you are sure.
Madre de Dios! Me can't you not see? We warn Earth now. The conditions are subside. No hurricane. Well, everybody says we are fools. The next warning is ignored and people die.
Then just
so
tell...
we do not warn Earth. The conditions worsen, and at the same time, when we should warn them, we cannot because there is a solar storm. Then they say, why don't those fools on the moon give us warnings?
We are about to begin the review meeting. I shall inform the director of the problem. You were quite right to send for me.
Routines, procedures. Does he expect my hurricane to conform to his routines? Es increíble, cada vez que ve...
And frankly, Director, I find the workings of his mind as incomprehensible as his accent.
Oh, perhaps we have to forget that the study of weather is as much an art as a science. Surely one is entitled to some temperament, or don't you agree?
All he has to do is to follow the warning procedure. It's just routine.
The whole base would come to a shuddering halt if we all worked to rule. I mean, routine should be flexible, surely.
I suggest your attitude might change when you've been here a little longer.
Well, maybe you're right. Then I'll see Juan after the meeting.
As you wish, Director.
I'd like you to come with me.
I'm sorry, Pierre.
I realize that you wish to keep your current work confidential.
It is just that my research is suddenly very delicate. I must be sure, or else I'll make a complete fool of myself. Costa? Come, wait. Perhaps it is right that I should tell you a little, very little about my discoveries. Sit down, Pierre. Sit down.
The new equipment's been fully serviced. Should be ready for use on Friday. The converter's been assembled. Oh, Conway tried it out last night. And that's it.
No, thanks, Tom. Helen.
1 or 2 cases of lunar stress. All they need is a month at home.
Don't we all?
Oh, then there's Dr. Barclay in Earth observation. His claustrophobia is getting worse. He may have to be sent up to Earth for a bit. Is that possible?
Juan Benavente can cope for a while. He's a good chap, even if he is excitable. Anything else?
Yes. I'm worried about Heinz Laubenthal.
Huh?
Well, on his last testing session, his personality profile showed a considerable stress peak.
That one's down to me, I'm afraid. He wants to work in Mare Frigoris, and I won't let him.
There's quite a bit of speculation going around as to the disappearance of Zeman and Lecoy.
Oh, that's naturally. Surely we're a relatively small community.
There seems to be a feeling that something odd, unexplained, happened in Mare Frigoris.
Not much we can do about that, Helen. It happens to be the truth.
We reported the implications on the 9th. As you see, he is building up and is forming an eye. You see what has happened over the last 24 hours. That build-up over the North African coast. It is heading straight across the Atlantic.
Sunstorm?
We should get him in about 48 hours. Could last a day, could last a week.
So we could be incommunicado at the very moment we need to send down a hurricane warning.
Precisely, Director.
Yeah. Get a standard hurricane warning down to Earth by 1100 tomorrow, but make sure that they understand that it is an advance warning and that we may not be able to verify and confirm. Try to give us an ETA American coastline. Put satellites 3 and 6 onto it for the next 4 hours.
Yes, Director.
Thank you for picking it up so early. Well done. You two can liaise on administration. And, let's keep the storms out there on the sun. Okay? I'm going to have a quick word with Tom Hill.
How long do you think the flare-up will last, Juan?
My estimation is that the sunstorm will be over in 48 hours. At least the worst effects.
Tom? How's it going?
All ticking over, Director.
Must we be so ruddy formal? The name is David. Dave, if you like, although I've never much cared for it.
You're the boss. You call me Tom, that's your privilege. I call you Director. That's my privilege.
Until you decide differently.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty lousy trick you played on us out there, making us think we'd all had it.
You all needed a bit of a shaking up, didn't you? Well, if there's any consolation, it's my turn now. Damn it, I came up here to fill dead men's shoes in the first place. Now there are 2 more pairs. And what am I director of, a Moonbase or a mortuary?
We've searched, the Americans have searched, what else can we do?
Well, just accept it? Write them off like a pair of faulty transistors?
Yeah, I think we should. Look, everybody on this base takes a big risk just being here. For all we know, Lecco and Zeman just run out of luck.
What about my restriction on Mare Frigoris? Do I keep it on and lose a whole area for research, or lift it and risk a few more lives?
I'm afraid I can't help you there. You decide. You're the director.
Thank you very much.
Seismology lab.
What is it, a leak?
No, total depressurization.
What is it, Pat? What's happened? I don't know. I couldn't get back.
Emergency. Emergency. Seismology section has been sealed off. And all personnel must be clear at the entrance area.
All the seals are holding. There's no danger to the rest of the base.
Do we know who would be in that section? Now.
Laubenthal, that's all. Okay, lads, let's go.
How are you going to get into seismology?
Through the airlock seal, how else?
Well, is that wise? I mean, if the seals are holding, why not leave them?
Okay, look, we'll come in from the outside through the hole. Main airlock of the door.
Take a video unit, Tom. I want everything recorded. Everything.
Okay.
What about Laubenthal?
Dead. He seems to have been torn to pieces.
Keep searching. Here, you better get down there and check the lab. Get hold of... You were his assistant, man. Don't you want to know what happened?
I think you better send somebody with him.
I'll go. Helen, get hold of Dr. Robertson. I'll want a full autopsy report on Laubenthal immediately.
Right.
This is David Calder. There's been an accident in seismology sections, resulting in localized depressurization. Professor Laubenthal is dead. All airlocks and seals are nominal, and there is no, and I repeat, no danger to the base as a whole. Full report will be issued as soon as possible. Right. Let's go over the points one by one. Helen, how's morale?
Not good. This business coming on top of the 2 deaths in Mare Frigoris, most of the stress indices are way up.
Well, mine is for sure.
It's created a strange kind of hysterical excitement, akin to hysteria. I'd be more than happy to see a rational explanation found as soon as possible.
Me too. Tom.
Repairs to the lab are well underway.
How much do we know now about what happened in there?
Very little. You've seen for yourself. The place was completely wrecked.
By an explosion. And we all heard the noise.
Well, that could have been the break in the outer wall and the rush of depressurization.
Would there have been any kind of explosive materials in the lab?
No. Why should there be? We use explosive charges in the soundings, of course.
Issued from an explosive store outside the base and taken directly into the field, right? Strictly against regs to bring them inside.
That is correct.
Anyway, those charges have got to be electrically detonated. It's literally impossible to set them off by accident.
Anything fissionable or radioactive there?
Again, no.
The Geiger counter readings are nil anyway. Oh, there is one thing.
Yes?
That wall looks as though it's been bashed in from the outside.
Surely that's impossible. I mean...
There's nothing outside there to bash it, is
A
there?
meteorite?
Hardly. That would have still been in the lab. And it's not there.
Dr. Robertson?
Yes, Director.
Cause of death.
Oh, it's hard to know where to start. Shock, loss of blood, lack of oxygen. Well, the body was extensively mutilated. As Mr. Hill said, virtually torn to pieces.
By depressurization.
Depressurization alone would not have produced such extensive injuries. There must have been something else.
Such as?
A localized explosion close to the body would have produced similar effects.
I thought we'd ruled out explosions.
Any other theories, Doctor?
Laubenthal was killed by a tremendous force, presumably the force which shattered the lab's outside walls. As to the nature of that force, well, I must decline to speculate.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
We reported the implications on the 9th, as you see. He is building up and is forming an eye. You see what has happened over the last 24 hours. That build-up over the North African coast. It is heading straight across the Atlantic.
Sunstorm?
We should get him in about 48 hours. Could last a day, could last a week.
So we could be incommunicado at the very moment we need to send on a hurricane warning.
Precisely, Director.
Yeah. Get a standard hurricane warning down to Earth by 1100 tomorrow, but make sure that they understand that it is an advance warning and that we may not be able to verify and confirm. Try to give us an ETA American coastline. Put satellites 3 and 6 onto it for the next 4 hours.
Yes, Director.
Thank you for picking it up so early. Well done. You two can liaise on administration. And, let's keep the storms out there on the sun. Okay? I'm going to have a quick word with Tom Hill.
How long do you think the flare-up will last, Juan?
My estimation is that the sunstorm will be over in 48 hours. At least the worst effects.
Tom? How's it going?
All ticking over, Director.
Must we be so ruddy formal? The name is David. Dave, if you like, although I've never much cared for it.
You're the boss. You call me Tom, that's your privilege. I call you Director. That's my privilege.
Until you decide differently.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty lousy trick you played on us out there, making us think we'd all had it.
You all needed a bit of a shaking up, didn't you? Well, if there's any consolation, it's my turn now. Damn it, I came up here to fill dead men's shoes in the first place. Now there are 2 more pairs. And what am I director of, a Moonbase or a mortuary?
We've searched, the Americans have searched. What else can we do?
We'll just accept it? Write them off like a pair of faulty transistors?
Yeah, I think we should. Look, everybody on this base takes a big risk just being here. For all we know, Lecco and Zeman just run out of luck.
What about my restriction on mare frigoris? Do I keep it on and lose a whole area for research, or lift it and risk a few more lives?
I'm afraid I can't help you there. You decide. You're the director.
Thank you very much.
Seismology lab.
What is it, a leak?
No, total depressurization.
What is it there? What's happening? I don't know. I couldn't get back.
Emergency. Emergency. Seismology section has been sealed off. All personnel must be clear at the entrance area.
All the seals are holding. There's no danger to the rest of the base.
Do we know who would be in that section? Now.
Laubenthal, that's all. Okay, lads, let's go.
How are you going to get into seismology?
Through the airlock seal, how else?
Well, is that wise? I mean, if the seals are holding, why not leave them?
Okay, look, we'll come in from the outside through the hole. Main airlock of the door.
Take a video unit, Tom. I want everything recorded. Everything.
Okay.
What about Laubenthal?
Dead. He seems to have been torn to pieces.
Keep searching. Here, you better get down there and check the lab. Get hold of... You were his assistant, man. Don't you want to know what happened?
I think you better send somebody with him.
I'll go. Helen, get hold of Dr. Robinson. I'll want a full autopsy report on Laubenthal immediately.
Right.
This is David Calder. There's been an accident in seismology sections, resulting in localized depressurization. Professor Laubenthal is dead. All airlocks and seals are nominal, and there is no, and I repeat, no danger to the base as a whole. Full report will be issued as soon as possible. Right. Let's go over the points one by one. Helen, how's morale?
Not good. This business coming on top of the 2 deaths in Mare Frigoris, most of the stress indices are way up.
A minus, for sure.
It's created a strange kind of hysterical excitement, akin to hysteria. I'd be more than happy to see a rational explanation found as soon as possible.
Me too. Tom.
Repairs to the lab are well underway.
How much do we know now about what happened in there?
Very little. You've seen for yourself. The place was completely wrecked.
By an explosion. And we all heard the noise.
Well, that could have been the break in the outer wall and the rush of depressurization.
Would there have been any kind of explosive materials in the lab?
No. Why should there be? We use explosive charges in the soundings, of course.
Issued from an explosive store outside the base and taken directly into the field, right? Strictly against regs to bring them inside.
That is correct.
Anyway, those charges have got to be electrically detonated. It's literally impossible to set them off by accident.
Anything fissionable or radioactive there?
Again, no.
The Geiger counter readings are nil anyway. Oh, there is one thing.
Yes?
That wall looks as though it's been bashed in from the outside.
Surely that's impossible. I mean...
There's nothing outside there to bash it, is there?
You're right?
Hardly. That would have still been in the lab. And it's not there.
Dr. Robertson?
Yes, Director.
Cause of death.
Oh, it's hard to know where to start. Shock, loss of blood, lack of oxygen. Well, the body was extensively mutilated. As Mr. Hill said, virtually torn to pieces.
By depressurization.
Depressurization alone would not have produced such extensive injuries. There must have been something else.
Such as?
A localized explosion close to the body would have produced similar effects.
I thought we'd ruled out explosions.
Any other theories, Doctor?
Laubenthal was killed by a tremendous force, presumably the force which shattered the lab's outside walls. As to the nature of that force, well, I must decline to speculate.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Here. What exactly was Laubenthal working on? I mean, since he had to abandon his Mare Frigoris experiments.
I'm afraid, Director, he did not abandon them.
Disobeyed my directive?
He was working in the area just before he died.
You knew this? You knew and you didn't inform me?
Professor Laubenthal was my immediate superior. I felt it was a matter of loyalty.
Your loyalty is due to the base, to all of us. All right, Bear. What exactly was Laubenthal doing in Mare Frigoris?
He was taking soundings, small epicenter readings, short focus charges at subsurface depths.
Well, why were these tests so urgent? Why did he disobey the director's orders?
Professor Laubenthal never fully confided in anyone. He told me one thing only.
Let's have it.
He believed that his latest findings related to the possibility of life on the moon. Yes.
Bruno Ponti wants to talk to you on visual, sir.
Not now.
No, he's with the outside repair party.
He says it's urgent, sir.
All right, put him through. On the main screen.
Excuse me, sir. We're repairing the outside skin on the seismology lab.
And?
Outside the rent, there's a peculiar mark on the ground.
What sort of a mark?
Well, it looks like a sort of track. We'll give you a look at it. We followed it as far as we could. About 7 or 8 kilometers, then it fades out, filling up with moon dust. It seems to be making for Mare Trigoris.
It leads right up to the lab?
Yes, sir. Right up to the lab wall.
Right. Thank you, Bruno.
Well then. How do we explain that away? One common factor runs through the whole thing.
Which is?
Mare Frigoris. Look, two men are working that area. They disappear. Labenthal becomes interested in the same area. He ignores the ban and starts investigating, right, Pat?
Sure, Peter. He was working in the area, but...
Well, we all know what happened next. The new Bruno found tracks leading straight to Mare Frigoris.
I found something, it's true. Some kind of trail leading in that
Seems to me
general
we're all
direction.
leaning over backwards to avoid facing the facts.
Facts, Dr. Conway? There are no facts. We must therefore try to be logical. We are supposed to be scientists.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? We are the dispensers of smug, irrefutable logic. Answers for everything in the universe, all neatly docketed and catalogued.
Well, that, after all, is why we are here, to find answers.
Right, Michel. Give me your logical, scientific explanation for the disappearance of Lecoy and Zeeman.
At the moment, I cannot. That's not to say that such an explanation does not exist.
The damage to the seismology lab, the hole in the wall, the death of Professor Labenthal. Forget about answers. Give me a theory. Reasonable, plausible theory.
You yourself have such a theory.
Well, if you didn't all have your heads lodged firmly in the scientific sand, you'd have it too.
Good. Let's hear it then. Eh?
There's something in Mare Frigoris. Maybe something alive. Supposing Zeeman and Lecoy disturbed it. It killed them. Labenthal started tormenting it with explosions. Left its lair in Mare Frigoris. Smashed its way into the seismology lab. And killed him.
Congratulations. The monster of Planet X strikes again.
Unfortunately, your picturesque little theory has just one flaw.
Which is?
There is nothing alive on the moon, apart from man. It's been proved to be scientifically impossible.
Nearly 200 years ago, man invented the steam engine. Reputable scientists of the time claimed to have proof that it was impossible for man to survive at speeds of 25 miles an hour.
Oh, come on, Peter. That's going back a bit.
All right. I remember a newspaper clipping. When were you born, Tom?
1961. Why?
5 years before that, the Astronomer Royal made headlines by saying that spaceflight was utter bilge. But we're all here.
Unfortunately. Well, don't know about the rest of you, but I got some work to do.
So have we all, I'm sure. Oh, by the way, Bengtsson is about to go through Professor Labenthal's papers. In view of your interest in the case, Peter, perhaps you'd care to help him.
Well, I'd be glad to. Join you in the lab in a moment, Per. Well, how about some more coffee?
How about that lunar monsters?
They're no damn monsters, Guido. Conway doesn't think so either. He was just pulling LeBrun's leg.
You saw the lab, Tom. And Lopenhall.
And I found that track.
Oh, it's some kind of freak effect.
And suppose he's right. Suppose there really is something, huh? One for the lady, and one for the gent.
You know, I could almost swear you're enjoying all this.
Suppose I am in a way. Something mysterious, strange. Something in this damn mechanistic universe that we've created that we don't understand.
You don't really believe there's something alive?
Maybe. Why not? Are we sure we'll recognize life when we see it?
The thing is, Peter, you enjoy this sort of speculation. You even need it. But for some of the others, you're simply spreading fear.
Something coming out of the cold, black, empty dark to shatter the warmth and comfort of our cozy little Moonbase.
You'd make my life much easier if you played this business down rather than up.
Oh, Helen, anything for you. I'll even go and help them arrange a nice, cozy, scientific explanation.
Is there something wrong?
You're supposed to tell me that.
The work. It's some way of throwing metals, isn't it?
Pretty near the proverbial major breakthrough.
And it'll be quite something if you succeed, won't it?
Terrific. Only one thing worries me.
What's that?
Why the hell do I bother? See you.
I have a call for you, Director. General Cheng from Moonbase 4.
Oh, thank you. Put him through. General Chang. This is a great pleasure, sir.
General Calder.
No, not General. Just Doctor, I'm afraid.
Dr. Calder. Malicious rumors have been spreading amongst the personnel at our base.
Have they now? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
These rumors concern some mythical monster in the Mare Frigoris area.
Oh, I see.
I am reliably informed that these rumors originate at your base. We cannot tolerate a propaganda offensive of this nature.
Oh, wait a minute now, General. I mean, there's no question of propaganda. As you say, there have been rumors.
I should regret having to make an official complaint to your assembly.
Wrong, do you understand? Totally, completely wrong. You have completely botched up the entire correlation. So there are stupid stories of Moonmaster, eh? Well, here, we ignore them. You have endangered the reputation of this department and the lives of the people back on Earth. Out of my sight.
He came up behind me, see, all of a sudden. Grabbed my shoulder. I suppose I was edgy. I mean, we all are, these monster stories. I just lashed out.
Yeah, I'm tracking his airline, you stupid...
I got him in as soon as I realized.
All right, that'll do. Get him to the sick bay. You better go, too. Get yourself a sedative. Peterson, you're on shift next. Get suited up and take over. Well, get a move on. We're behind schedule as it is. Look, what is this?
They're not going outside, Tom. Not till this monster business is cleared up.
There's nothing to clear up. You heard that idiot clobbered his mate. There was nothing there.
Maybe not this time, but there might have been.
Nothing Labenthal said gave you any hint or clue about what he'd found.
No more than I've told you. Perhaps he said something to partners.
Why partners? They weren't exactly matey, were they?
Far from it. They're always quarreling about the computer turn, but not long before the accident, things seemed to change.
I'm sorry, Director, but that's it. My lads refuse to do any more exterior maintenance without proper protection.
Damn it, they'd only be just outside the base.
Laubenthal was inside.
What sort of protection do they want?
But their arms on the base. They want them issued.
No, I won't allow that.
Well, something must be done, Director. Today I received 3 more requests for emergency leave and another resignation.
Who was that?
Monique Sorel. She works with Beneventi. Today, apparently, he berated her publicly for a relatively minor error. Two of her colleagues have threatened to resign in sympathy.
Only a short while ago, I was saying how efficient that department was.
Every project is falling behind schedule. Errors in calculations, minor accidents, dragging up the feet. Only one exception, Conway.
He's thriving on it.
Well, his behavior has been both childish and irresponsible.
Suppose there's no need to ask about morale.
Way down.
This place contains the best brains in Europe, and yet one little crisis and the whole damn place falls apart. Now, what are they, scientists or baby mice?
They're frightened.
I know! Me too. Calder.
Commander Jackson from Moonbase 1 for you, Director.
Put him through. Hello, Bill.
David, this is a little sensitive. You alone?
Well, apart from my departmental heads, but if it's confidential, they can...
No, maybe it's better if Dean on it. We've got some pretty funny rumors going around over here.
You have?
We've heard you've been having some problems. You know, guys gossip over the intercom. Look, have you heard any kind of a story about a lunar monster?
Yeah, I've heard.
It's hitting morale pretty hard. Some of the boys are getting kind of spooky, you know, and, well, I just wondered.
No need to worry, Bill. We had a couple of freak accidents caused a lot of silly talk. I'm having a report put out. I'll shoot you over a copy.
Yep, sure, I guess that was it. Thanks, David. Sorry I'm cutting on your meeting, huh?
Okay. Goodbye, Bill. If we don't stop the panic now, it'll spread to every single base on the moon.
And it won't just stop there. The stories are bound to reach Earth.
Journalists, newscasters, questions in the assembly.
I'm mounting a full-scale search of Mare Frigoris.
Who's taking it out?
I am. And you're coming with me. Michelle, you'll be in charge of the base.
Weapons?
Not carried. In the buggies.
Right.
I'll take the first party due west across the crater.
Yeah.
Tom, your team will go north, round the crater, by Barrow. Now, Michelle, if anything should go wrong, you're to put the whole base on red alert, right?
Very well.
Now, in that event, you will make a top priority call to Earth. You will not send out another party without direct instructions. Just call a meeting of all Moonbase directors and give them whatever information you have.
That's quite a hot seat you're leaving for me.
Try it for size.
Calder. You there, Michelle?
Go ahead, sir.
We're just ready to leave. Have Pinkston and Conway come up with anything yet?
Not so far. If there's anything significant, I'll keep you informed. Good luck.
Even at this range, reception isn't good. Anything you can do about it?
I'm sorry, sir. Some storm creeping in. I'm afraid it will probably get worse.
Thank you. So, now we wait.
How are you doing?
Nothing. You?
Well, I think I'm onto something here, but I don't know what.
Ah, the mysterious book. Laubenthal kept it hidden.
Trouble is, part of it's in German, part of it's in a sort of private code, and part of it's just plain gibberish.
It is. Look at that.
Oh, yes. The professor made some of his computer time over to partners.
Why partners?
I'm not sure. You remember I told you he became suddenly almost friendly. There was something about a favor.
Something Lobenthal wanted in exchange for the computer time.
Could be.
I see.
Nuclear warhead. The United States was well and truly back in the space race. The Soviet Union, however, still had a commanding lead. This film was the first glimpse given to the outside world of the launch into space of two dogs.
Hello there, my old Pete. Let me get you a drink.
Nah, not now, Steve.
No? How's the old Sherlock Holmes business going? Turn anything up?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah, well, poor old Heinz, he couldn't use all his computer time, so he made some of it over to me.
Just like that.
What else? Let me get you the drink.
There's more to it, isn't there, Steve?
Yeah, there's more.
Part of it. Only part of it, there.
I'm pretty tired. I think I'll go for a bite.
Fine. Fine.
I'll come back later.
On course. On schedule. Back later.
Communication's very bad.
Solarstone, he's building up very fast. And it's possible that they will lose contact altogether.
Are you tracking them?
They will arrive at Mare Frigoris very soon.
Yeah, I think I know what's happened. So where are the readings for the moment exactly before the disaster?
They could still be in the instrument. It was too heavy to move.
Moonbase calling. Come in, search party. Are you receiving me? Come in, please.
The whole thing is done. We won't get through while the solar storm is on.
Michel, get me the director. I have to speak to him.
I'm sorry, Dr. Cohn. We cannot make contact.
I've got to. We must warn them. They're walking into danger.
I'm afraid it's out of the question, Peter.
Peter! Per, what's he found out?
Has no idea.
They've arrived. They are now at Mare Frigoris.
Tom? I can only just hear you. Take your team up to the crater heights. There may be something to be seen from there. We are going down into the crater. Okay. Oh. What the hell are we supposed to be looking for? Get on with it. Time for guests. Where's Calder? He's over the ridge, searching the crater. Listen. I've got to stop him. We're out of contact. It's that damn storm. That's half a mystery solved. David? David? I know what's happening. I know what's going on. He can't hear you. His intercom's out.
Moonbase 3. Come in, search party.
Only 9 casualties. Can you hear me, Moonbase? Come in, please.
Guido, this is Lebrun. Has Dr. Conway found you yet?
Yes, sir. Dr. Conway is here. We have discovered the bodies of Lecoy and Seaman. They had been buried. We are about to return to base.
Well, whatever has happened, one can presume that's the end of Dr. Conway's monster.
Poor Peter.
Yeah, it's true that Mari Frigoris was the villain of the piece, but not because it was the lair of the monster.
Hard luck, Peter.
Laubenthal had discovered the existence of a limited shifting layer of permafrost, ice, beneath the surface of Mare Frigoris. The sounding charges that Lecoy and Seaman were using were made more powerful by the permafrost propagation effect. Shock waves caused the subsidence, which led to their deaths. The explosions caused extreme surface instability, as the director discovered on his later search.
Oh, tactfully put. I was damn nearly buried alive.
Okay, so that explains Lecoy and Seaman. What about Laubenthal?
Dr. Partness?
Laubenthal realized that the size of his charges made taking soundings in the Mare Frigoris dangerous, but he was determined to go on. He wanted to find out the full extent of the permafrost layer. He even asked me to make up some charges for him, something with a smaller, more localized effect.
And that's what you did?
Yes. I rigged up some detonators for him from those little capsules of hypergolic fuel. As you know, they explode on contact. I warned him to be careful.
We can't be sure exactly what happened, but we do know that Laubenthal used some of Partness's charges successfully.
He must have been in the process of preparing a second batch when a mild tremor was recorded on his own seismograph.
We all assumed that the explosions caused the tremor. In fact, it was the other way around. Poor Hines simply blew himself up.
Okay, Director. Had your pound of flesh?
You may leave now if you wish, Dr. Partness.
What about the track? The track leading to Mare Frigoris? A vague blur pointing in that direction. In fact, it was a freak linear subsidence caused by the tremors that set off the explosions. We only saw it as a track because that's the way we were thinking.
And what followed was created by overactive imaginations.
Mine in particular.
Well, you said it. But you did eventually find the real solution for us. Also, you helped to save my life, which makes up for a hell of a lot. Now, to look on the credit side of this whole miserable business, Professor Laubenthal obviously has made a discovery of the most tremendous importance, which reflects with great credit on Moonbase 3. It completely alters our thinking as to the possibility of some kind of life having developed on the moon, not to mention the tremendous implications for fuel production. Now, a full report will be issued soon. In the meantime, I would be very grateful if you would pass on all you've heard to your colleagues.
When everyone was rushing around, turning 2 and 2 into 5, did you ever have doubts?
Me? No. Practical man, aren't I? Well, perhaps just for a moment, I wondered.